Hey everybody, you made it to the Jed Said channel where we make your life as pleasant as possible with the fewest words as possible. Today, let's talk about why some people just don't seem to benefit from a therapy. I think you're gonna like this one. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Before we continue, be sure to push the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or the follow button if you're on any of the other ones, TikTok included. I'm sure I'll put this on there. So follow me everywhere. You'll find me at the Jed Said. And this is good information. You probably want to know why it is that some people don't progress through therapy, because how can you not progress with therapy, right? Studies show just having someone in the same room listening to you helps. It helps. A lot of times in therapy, just saying something out loud, you'll actually, as the client, hear this and will start challenging yourself. Well, this, and you'll hear it with the phrase, man, when I say it out loud, that sounds kind of dumb. You know what I mean? That's you actually doing therapy on yourself just by being able to sit in front of someone and saying it out loud. Isn't that cool? So how does it not help? Here's the top 2 reasons why therapy may not be picked up. Well, first of all, it's kind of weird saying it may not work, because that implies that the therapist is, in charge of it working, when really the client is always going to do more work than the therapist if it's a healthy relationship going on. We don't want a therapist doing more work than the client. That's just unhealthy, and kudos to the client who finds a therapist to do more work than they do, right? So it sounds like they've got a real gift for finding people to do stuff for them that might be hard. Rock and roll. I'm not that therapist, but I digress. Number 1 reason as to why therapy might not work is, in a family dynamic, what if everyone is pretty toxic? What if they're all unhealthy on some level? They gossip, they use chopping remarks, they cut at people's self-esteem, they triangulate, they manipulate badly, mean manipulations going on. And that's just the family dynamic. What if in therapy one of them goes and they get healthier, they rise above this dynamic that everybody's used to? That can be uncomfortable. I had one client where his whole support system revolved around this family dynamic. And if he rose above it, he's not connected to his family anymore. And that's a pretty vulnerable place to be, especially for someone who's never really stood up on their own and been independent from their family. So just forget about therapy working if this is the situation. When the awareness gets higher, it's harder to make bad decisions in your life. It just is. It's harder to step into a pothole if you know where the pothole is. Hey, I'm just going to walk into a pothole again and again. It gets a little awkward, you know what I mean? People just tend to not do it. It gets more difficult to behave badly with awareness. So what do? They'll come to therapy, they'll start getting awareness, and then they'll recognize that this isn't going to go well for them. And when I say not go well for them, I really mean this is going to be pretty difficult. This is going to take a lot of work, and this is going to be very uncomfortable. So they'll stop coming to therapy, and they'll peace out, so they'll maintain this unhealthy dynamic that they're used to and that they've been using for decades. So there's the one reason that therapy might not work out for you. The number 2 top reason, this is a good one. If I'm unhealthy and people around me have this position, this dynamic where they're the caregiver, where they're helping me out a lot, they're giving me advice, they're telling me what to do, they're showing me the way, they're directing me, they're leading me, I can't get healthy, or else this is a pretty awkward situation at that point. Or if I get healthy, they might not give me stuff anymore. They might not pay my phone bill. They might say, hey, glad you're adulting with the rest of us. Now you can start doing stuff on your own. Remember, it's the brain's main function hear this, hear this. It's the brain's main function to do the least amount of work and get the maximum from the efforts, right? Get the most from the least amount of effort. So what's the brain? It's a tricky little cuss, right? What the brain's gonna do is just figure out a way not to get healthy. It's gonna say, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't like this idea because a lot of my needs are getting met. I feel like a marionette right now doing this weird thing. So anyway, those are the top 2 reasons why therapy sometimes just doesn't stick. Let's do another one. Why not? Here we are. Let's have some more fun. Another thing about therapy is, remember, kind of treat emotional intelligence like a new language. It's kind of awkward, you know what I mean? If you're right-handed, whew, you can spin that unhealthy fastball pretty quick. All of a sudden, go to therapy. It's a little awkward. I don't know. It's kind of weird throwing this. My curveball isn't really. It's just weird. Even though if I practice, it'll get way better than this ever was. It's just kind of awkward. So they'll get healthier. They'll leave the therapeutic relationship, go out on their own. And by the way, most of our world, not a lot of awareness going on. You know what I mean? Not a lot of emotional intelligence going on. So off they go into this quagmire of toxicity and unhealthiness. And guess what? They just start using the hand that they were used to using before they came to therapy. If this sounds correct, that actually does make a little bit of sense. You know, push the like button, push the share button, send it to people, and lastly, like I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe. It's all great information helping your life with the least amount of words as possible. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I've got other stuff on the website, www.meaningtolive.com. And until next time, awareness up.